Okay, ready to go.
Cool, we're live.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, I'll start the recap then. So, when last we left our party, they had foiled the plot by the cult of Zernas to perpetrate a large-scale terrorist attack on the city of Duskwatch. They spent some time in Duskwatch until things calmed down, and then received an invitation from Arturo Duskwatch, the lord who owns the city, to see him in his mansion in the Citadel of the Moon. The party were already headed that way, so they got passage on the passenger cruiser, the Octavia, captained by Leah Elenara. And during their 9-day journey, Ott made friends with a CEO whose nudes he had stolen and was given more nudes for free. And then they were attacked by wyverns, which unfortunately did not kill Ott. Enough. The wyverns were uncharacteristically trying to build a treasure hoard, but the party were able to recover their stolen items and kill all but one of the wyverns before they could escape. The party arrived at the Citadel of the Moon and split into groups to explore the city. Jeremiah went to visit the large temple that he saw on his way into the city, and Yolia and Risu went with Virtue to the University of the Prismatic Shard. Hayakin and Ott didn't say what they were doing, so I've just sort of assumed that you stayed on the docks to see what's going on there. So I think since we've split the party into three, what we're going to do is go through them one by one. And so first of all, we will start with Hayakin and Ott and what you guys are doing. So I don't think I did like a great job of sort of explaining the city when you first arrived in it, but it's not like other cities that sort of have naturally grown and expanded over the years. Very much everything in the Citadel of the Moon seems to have been meticulously and perfectly placed in order to like maximize efficiency and beauty according to whatever like elven ideal this was built to. Like all of the central buildings in this city are like built purely out of this like pure opalescent white stone and all embellished in gold. There's like banners of red hanging from everything. Like it's really gaudy and opulent. And like the entire top of the city is very much like this. Even the not so much less opulent area, but the more industrial area, which is Area 9, is it's still very beautiful, and sort of you can only see rooftops there. Like there's all of the city streets are covered in Area 9. It's all like hidden within one massive roof, underneath one massive rooftop or interconnected rooftops. So that's you're not able to get much of a view of it as you were coming into the city. Coming into docks, which was in Area 4, the open stone port, when your group decided to split up. Hayakin and Ott, you, I guess, are still sort of sticking around while they are unloading the ship, and Captain Leah Eleanor is still fending off angry passengers and trying to explain to them that they don't really know what was up with these wyverns, and this was really uncharacteristic behavior of them. That you know they've already created a contract with the Hunters Commission within the city, who like were apparently already aware of the situation, and the situation is going to be dealt with by them. And I think like after the crowd disperses, she'll see that you two have at least hung around, and she'll come up to you and just try and sort of thank you for what you've done. Well, I mean, I don't really. I suppose it's only natural that you guys would want to, you know, disperse after getting to the city. But I'm glad at least someone stuck around for me to actually say thanks, because that could have been a hell of a lot worse if you guys hadn't been on the ship. Like, no wonder Olaf recommended you guys to me. And I suppose I should probably sort of remind you of what Captain Eleanor looks like. She's like a elven equivalent of early 30s elven woman with her left hand is made of petrified stone. But she's like, I would offer you guys a reward for helping us, but I mean, we've lost a lot of money on this journey, even with what you managed to return, because everybody demanded a refund.
Can anyone call back the wyverns?
Just call them up like on the wyvern phone.
Yeah, if they're not going to fucking give us money, call the wyvern phone for threatening to bring them back.
Call the
I feel like
midwifers.
they'll be coming back anyway because we've got to have something to fight here, surely.
Oh God, yeah.
Say that out loud.
I say that out loud.
Just like,
We're not done with them yet.
okay, I mean, like, if I think the Hunters Commission were probably going to go hunt them down if you wanted to get in touch with them and volunteer your services, I guess. I don't really know. They don't normally take on magic users, but whatever. You guys are strong. You killed a bunch of wyverns. I mean, I don't really know what. How do you guys even know Olaf? Like, what are you guys doing in the city? It's not really my business, but you stuck around to talk, so I assumed you wanted something. Like, is there something I'll be able to help you with after you, help my ship not get ransacked by a bunch of wyverns? Or you two could just stand there dumbfounded,
That's me. I'm
Wait,
right.
wait, is that? Oh, is that me?
Here.
Me and Hyakin, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're a fucking idiot.
Jesus
Come on,
Christ.
tell her why we're here.
We're not here to rob.
Okay, awesome.
Wow, cheers! Wow,
Wasn't
really?
going to accuse you of that, but now I am worried.
I'm just settling your nerves.
We're just like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, just like, I don't know, why are we here again?
I accidentally knocked something over behind me.
Look, I tell you what, I am going to be staying at the Cross Picks, and I kind of owe you guys a favor. So if there is anything you need, let me know, and I'll be able to, find me, and I'll see what I can do, because I can't pay you for having helped me, because I've just lost a huge amount of money on this fucking voyage. But I do at least owe you something.
That's fair enough. Can you give us directions to it so we can come round and see you later or tomorrow or something?
Yeah, sure. And she gives you directions to. It's an area in Area 8, sort of quite near to the Aegis Port and the Gilded Shield district, which is where a lot of the military forces of the Citadel Moon are. Gilded Port is like a port which is exclusively for military use. So it's kind of known as a very secure pub, not because it's like really opulent or anything, but because it's always full of soldiers who are off duty.
Okay, sounds like a nice change from the last few places we've been in.
Yeah, you guys were in Duskwatch before here. I mean, there's like a nice half of Duskwatch and a half where you're gonna get stabbed. So
I like
it's
the
not...
stabby part.
Sounds like the D&D equivalent of Birmingham. Oh
Shut
yes,
up,
sorry, no offense.
You hear Jeremiah crying in the distance.
Looks out the window for the smashed glass and vomit and death.
I suppose I'll just like... There we go. That'll be where the cross picks it. Cross picks? Hang on. Let me see what I called it.
The puckered butt cheeks.
Puckered butt. Sure, that's what it's called now.
Yeah, cannoned.
No, I
Damn it.
refuse. Pick and shovel. Cross picks was in Duskwatch. It's the pick and shovel.
Can it be the cross shovels?
No.
Okay.
fuck's sake. Why is that so tiny? Oh, it's because I'm on the fucking GM layer. God damn it.
I can't see
I don't
anything.
see anything.
Yeah. Let me move
Yeah,
that to the right layer.
I mean, I
token
can
layer.
see some circles.
I see lines.
Yeah. It's still really tiny.
There we go.
I'm seeing
Yeah,
numbers.
I'm gonna.
What do they mean?
That's where it is.
This is that square.
Yeah.
And where are we? Somewhere in number 4.
We're in
You're
4,
somewhere in number 4.
Yeah.
Like by the edge of it, somewhere in one of the many
I
dots.
want a horse. That's what I
There are
want.
no horses on.
Unicorn.
I can actually call you a horse.
Yeah, you do have an ability called Find Steed, which does summon a horse.
Wicked.
It's like a magic horse as well. It's awesome.
You want
Why
a,
the fuck does it go tiny as soon as I click off?
you want a horse?
You should do that and see how everyone reacts.
I kind
Yeah.
of want a horse now. But you're not with us. Oh, it's over there.
Oh
Click
yeah,
and
not with
shuffle.
you, am I? So
Yeah, it's me and
next
Hiraki.
time. Next
You
time.
Go and find him. Go and find him
Yeah.
first.
I just want to travel about the city on a horse.
We're fine.
What, so all these lines, are they like actual like walls, or what's going on with them?
No, this is more like vague area divisions.
All right.
This isn't a heavily militarized city like Duskwatch was, because there's like a lot of magical protections on the island itself that stops basically
What?
any danger from coming in. Which I suppose you would know, but Captain Eleanor could tell you that. As opposed to Duskwatch, which just has like a really heavy military presence, because that's the purpose of the city. So what is it that you guys want to do?
Pickpocket.
Okay.
You can pickpocket. I'm gonna wander around and try and find someone else because I blinked and everyone ran away.
Okay. You're just gonna see where the rest of your party went. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that like people said where they were going. So Virtue, Risu, and Ott all said they were going to the University of the Prismatic Shard.
Wait, what?
Which,
Ott said he
Wait,
was doing
what?
that? You sure?
No,
Why
Ott,
were they
sorry,
going? Why were they going there?
Risu, Virtue, and Yolya, sorry, we're all going to the University of the Prismatic Shard because that's where Virtue studied and he had to pick up all his research materials and that. That's why you guys initially came to this city.
Okay. And where's everyone else gone?
Jeremiah took off, headed towards the Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess, which is something that he saw on his way in, and being a man of God was like, ooh, temple, okay.
Apparently a man of God.
It's a paladin.
I mean, apparently.
What does
Right.
that mean? Cat fetish.
Sorry, say that again. What?
Fight me, furry.
Yeah, basically.
Right. I'll head over to the university and I turn around and say to Art, would you like to join me or do you want to try and pickpocket some people first?
Just in the middle of the
In the
crowd,
middle.
No, no, no,
dozen
just-
eyes all turn on you.
Whilst he's got his hand in someone's pocket.
Hey, who wants to commit a crime out here?
I mean, I can help you. I can like summon something to distract people if you want.
Can you summon a horse? That would really distract people.
I can try. Logan, can I summon a horse?
Our horse is
You can
real.
make an illusory horse. You have major image, don't you?
Make it a bone
Yeah.
horse.
Bone horse.
Okay.
What
What
is it, the
is bone horse?
Horseman of the Apocalypse, or whatever it is.
Okay. I turn around, look at Art, give him a thumbs up, and summon an imaginary horse
But
right in the middle of the street.
right in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
With giant titties.
with
Okay.
giant titties
That would be
Okay.
But a really small tail.
I
and a
don't know,
really small tail.
because like everyone's attention looks at Ott when you're like, "Oh, do you want to pickpocket someone?" And he's like got his hand in someone's coin purse. And then
Yeah,
all
but quick, there's a
the
magical
vision is
horse
blocked
there
by
with
this-
tits.
I said,
enormous skeletal war horse
Skeletal,
that
yeah.
appears with just
That's the one.
huge bazongadongas.
Yeah,
and small
Longer
tail.
down.
I
That's a
mean,
great
explain
meme, I
that.
love meme. And I have no idea how people react. I think like some people run the fuck away and like, some people start calling for guards. I think like the person whose like coin purse Art's hand was in just like punches at Art, and I'm just like, rolling a circle.
Do I? Yeah, I was gonna say, do I lose anything?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
no.
nat one. You don't have to dodge shit.
Yay!
He just like drops his coin purse and runs.
yeah.
So we got
Okay.
something out of it.
Is the
5
horse
gold.
actually doing anything, or is it just standing there looking odd?
And like I don't know, it's probably just like because you can make it move naturally, so it's probably just like standing around like grazing, but there's no like grass on the ground because it's these beautifully paved streets.
It's just great.
No, make it more crazy. Make it like it's jumping up and down and going crazy because there's
Okay.
Is there
It's
people
scared
hiding
about
nearby?
something. Just have it run around in circles. Just...
Grabbing its own boobs.
With his hooves.
Is it a centaur or what? I'm confused.
No, it grabs
really
its boobs and
scared.
then it falls over because its legs have left the ground. So.
Okay, so now it's just a skeletal horse, bone titties, rolling around on the ground, and like a few guards run over and try and stab it with their spears, and it just goes through because it's an illusion.
Wow.
And then they look over you and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Right, I'm gonna run away now over to the
Okay.
university and try and
Yeah.
get away from all these guards that are coming over.
Okay, I think because you've booked it now, that's fine. Like if you'd stuck around, they would have tried to arrest you. But
Okay, I've run off.
I guess this is just a weird prank.
Are there people
Well,
hiding
you
from this
get-
thing? Like in the meantime, I kind of want to come up behind someone who's like trying to hide from this thing and say, "Just give me some money. I know how to get rid of it."
Make a persuasion check. Okay, you gotta be a 12. What'd you
17.
get? Okay, he's like, oh, yeah, just anything, just get rid of it. What the fuck is that?
Can I
The worst
question why people are
monstrosity
so
I've seen in my
scared?
life.
They come from the land of the land of sugar and honey.
I don't care where it comes from. Get rid of it.
Okay, run
Before
that
it
way,
eats my
real quick.
soul.
I'll make it disappear.
Okay, he runs off. He doesn't give you any money.
What? I thought he said he gave me loads of money.
He said he would, and then you told him to run off.
Fuck. Okay, is anyone? Oh, damn it! It's not even worth trying.
Okay. I mean, like, are you sticking around while the guards are gonna ask why the fuck there's an illusory horse
Nah, I'm just
rampaging about, or are
I'm
you
running off
blocking
like everyone else.
it? Okay. So I guess you and Hayarkin are gonna head to the University of Prismatic Shard.
Yeah, completely casually, just wander off.
Okay. The butler who was holding up a sign saying "Fate Touched," by the way, he also ran away when the weird skeletal horse appeared. But you guys all decided you were going to ignore him last. In that case, next, I guess we will go to Jeremiah. You there, Matt?
Yeah.
Cool. So, you arrive at the Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess, and it's like not too far away from where you landed in the first place. So, in the distance, you probably hear some chaos and just assume the idiots are at it again.
Cool.
It is like a phenomenally beautiful temple. All again, like created out of this opalescent white stone that's all, like semi-translucent, but you can't quite see through it. With
Yeah.
like gold embellishments, and above the like main doors, there is a huge holy symbol of a god that you simply do not recognize. Like whatever this god is, they were not in your world.
Mhm.
What do you want to do? You're currently stood outside.
Well, I'm going to enter.
Okay, cool. As you enter through the front doors, you are kind of taken aback that this place of worship has sort of been transformed into a makeshift sort of hospital with injured soldiers laid about on just about every bench that the clerics could find. sort of just the clerics are all rushing about, and all these soldiers are clutching at like clawed wounds and like just writhing in like an unnatural amount of pain for the sort of wounds that they have as well. It's very unusual. So I mean, you can assume at this point there's some sort of magic at work on these particular injuries. But
Okay.
there are clerics rushing about to try and deal with stuff. No one really pays you any mind because they've kind of got bigger stuff to deal with. There is a cleric who's dressed in sort of these blues and golds, which seems to be the uniform of the temple, who seems to be like, I don't know, the head priest of this temple. And then there is a old man who, I mean, he's carrying a holy symbol that depicts a skull, but not like a really terrifying skull, kind of a jovial skull. And he is wandering around, sort of half making fun of all these injured soldiers and asking them questions.
I'm gonna go ask one of the regular clerics what's gone on here.
I mean, are you? You're well armed. Are you someone who was asked to help deal with the situation, or?
I'm a. I don't know how to describe myself. I'd say I'm a traveling. we're a part of a band of travelers, really.
Okay.
What
Like mercenaries, or?
Kind of like mercenaries.
Because Brother Gabriel over there, and she points to the old man who was making all the soldiers, who's now talking intently to one of them, who just seems half annoyed and half just like desperate to let the pain end. Was asking after, whether he could get some backup, but we're just kind of busy trying to treat all these injuries that. I don't know if you've heard of Fallen Dawn, but it was supposed to be an expansion, but it's they had an undead problem and the city was abandoned, but they were kind of not really a problem, and now ghost ships have started appearing, and now, well, this. And she sort of motions at the injured soldiers, and our healing magic isn't really working properly on the injuries. I'm sorry. I know it's not really your problem, but you offered.
No.
Yourself, so there might be something you can do.
I'm gonna give them a potion, which isn't great, but it's something.
Okay. I mean, they accept it gratefully because literally anything is helpful.
And then I'm gonna give them 10 gold to go help with other things.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go speak to the brother, and I'm going to basically just say, "How are we doing?"
Yeah. Okay. So you walk up as this like crotchety old man's like, "Oh no, I'm a great cleric. I'm just a terrible doctor. You see, you don't need to worry. Death isn't so bad anyway." And you walk up, and Jesus fucking Christ, Sarah.
Oh my
God.
Oh god.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, that's disgusting. That
It's
is
exactly as I imagined it.
Right, that's going into the wine bank.
So you probably do recognize this guy's holy symbol. It is of Mortis, who is kind of a god of death, but more a god of like time and all things that have to happen no matter what. So death is kind of part of that.
death and destiny, basically.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
he's another god that's closely linked to Istus. And he's like, "Oh, you did the cleric send you over? You a mercenary? Is there any more of you? Because you alone, no offense, but I mean, you look pretty strong."
There can be, good sir. Depends on what the depends on what's needed to be done.
Well, I bring to you a mission holy and of great import, he says. He's kind of half taken the piss out of you, but you think he does, at least on some level, believe that this is actually an important mission. I don't know whether you've heard, but the undead of Fallen Dawn have suddenly become organized. Previously was just an island of fucking zombies, which is bad enough. But
Language in the holy place, good sir.
the gods can kiss my wrinkly nutsack,
Okay.
says the cleric.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Anyway, carry on.
And he seems to have this very irreverent attitude of so, yes, but there is some sort of force that is organizing them. I was hoping to get together a scouting party, you see, to head to Fallen Dawn and discover what the source of all this is. But, I mean, you alone, no offense, you're not exactly the sneaky type. I mean, I'm sure very good at smiting and all that, Mr. Holy Knight, but this might require a deft touch.
Okay, right. I'll go consult the party about this, and before I
good,
leave,
you have comrades.
indeed, they may be slightly eccentric, but they do the job.
Oh, good, I love slightly eccentric.
They're probably going to rob this place, but
I'd like
I'm
to
going
I
to
will.
go. I'm going to go pray. I'm going to quickly have a prayer to my God in the corner.
Okay.
For strength.
In fact, I think if you start praying to Cord, probably one of the clerics who had been like carrying bandages, like one of the acolytes who isn't really like hasn't completed their training yet, is like, oh, if you are devoted to Cord, I mean, you're welcome to pray here, obviously, but at the Hunters Commission, there is actually they are devotees of Cord because he's the god of strength and fair competition, which they love over there. So I think they have set up a shrine in his honor over there.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you,
I mean,
very
you're
good sir.
also
Good luck
welcome
with
to
your.
pray here if you want.
No, good. I'll go to the Hunters Guild. It seems like we could use their assistance with what possibly might be a mission. Thank you, good sir, and good
Great,
luck with your patience. God bless.
The head
Praise be to
priest.
God.
Yeah, the head priest calls out after you as well. So, thank you for your aid, by the way, sir. And you're gone before they're able to catch your name. But I think that
Right.
covers what you're doing for the meantime.
Yeah, is anyone else going to be at the Hunters Commission, or is it just going to be me?
I think you're the only one who's headed there right now.
Okay. If other people want to join me, I can advance the plot. Right. Yeah. To whoever's next. Thank you.
Yeah, me and Harkin will go catch up with him.
Okay, I mean, you said you were headed towards the university. Do you want to go to the university or the Hunters
Oh,
Commission?
right. Nick?
Well, how far away is it? Because I ran off in the direction of the university, but
I mean,
Yeah.
university is B, Hunters Commission is at A.
okay, it's in the same direction. Yeah, we can go there and
Well, sort of.
Okay.
that's fine. Well, if we were at the top of 4, it's kind of we were running down there, weren't we? So
Sure.
yeah, we can go there.
Okay, so you guys head to the Hunters Commission instead. In that case, Risu and Yolya, you guys have been following Virtue, who is like, he's really excited to finally be back home, and he's sort of like, he's walking with such a spring in his step that he's almost skipping as he like points out all these weird sights to you, and it's inane stuff like bakeries where he used to get lunch and
Can
like
you pick up?
textile shops and such. Like, yeah, you can get lunch totally, and like he knows the best place locally, or at least what he claims is the best place, and he's able to get you a discount. So it's like like really nice, freshly baked, like
Potato.
I was gonna say like confectionaries, like a freshly baked like.
Why is it always potatoes?
Why is it always potatoes? I didn't do this. You guys did this.
Potato stew.
Sure, it's just a really like freshly baked jacket potato on a plate with a spoon and a little flag with a skull and crossbones poking out the top of it.
I turned. It was like I thought this was a bakery.
Yeah, that's what's so great about this place. It's not just a bakery. It
It's
also
baked.
does potatoes. Anything which is baked. Baked
Even-
beans,
Oh,
baked potatoes,
it's a bakery, right?
Yep.
You know.
marijuana, anything.
Dude.
Did they do
So
cut-
baked.
no.
Yeah, virtual buy you guys lunch. It's fine. So if you both have, and it's like a really nice jacket potato, but it's a jacket potato, and there's not much to say about it.
Awesome.
It's
Um,
potatoey.
He does lead you in towards the University of the Prismatic Shard, which is in the Palace of the Lunar Council, which is this huge area within the center, which is all devoted to government functions. And man, if the rest of the island seemed gaudy, this place is like fucking opulent. Like the goddamn streets glitter. It's never nighttime for some reason. Like the whole place is just sparkling and beautiful, and in a way, it's kind of really unsettling how like fake everything seems. But he walks you towards, and the actual palace itself in the very center, and the university are like two towers which sort of tower over the rest of the district. And the university is this really tall, it's like the only cobblestone sort of building, and it just seems like an enormously tall wizard tower, which is just radiating rainbow light from the top, like everywhere. And it's like, yeah, my I was only in the dormitories. I'm not actually like a hugely important researcher, because people thought I was mostly full of shit. But like, who's laughing now? Because I almost died like 6 times in the last 2 weeks.
Well, you're
So I
certainly
guess still am.
Yeah, I mean,
good joke.
I was going to say that's not something to be proud that.
Yeah, I guess they're still the ones laughing, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, until you can prove that you were correct in all your theories, then yeah.
Well, I mean, that's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, because, like, I've been doing some thinking of, like, Ista sent you guys to me, right? Like, as soon as you guys got to Horizon, she was like, go find that really hot tiefling dude called Virtue. I doubt she said that.
I like the idea of a couple of silent and a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Across the screen.
This is weedy
as
little.
As that happens, I just go, "It's okay, mommy." Mommy loves you still.
Mommy still thinks you're hot.
Yeah.
Wink.
Oh, oh, that just got uncomfortable.
Yeah, he is blushing furiously, by the way. He's like really uncomfortable. He's like, yeah, so
Stop.
I didn't just want to come here because, like, it's home and I wanted to pick up supplies. I actually did want to gather my research materials, because I wanted to talk to you guys about, like, why Istus might have sent you guys to me, which is, only thing I can assume it's because I researched the previous calamity, or just the calamity. There hasn't been another calamity since, but, like, we're talking about another calamity happening, and you just sort of rambling on as he gets closer to the university. Like once you finally get to the university, it is enormous. Like you thought it was just a wizard's tower, but it is fucking huge. It's like the size of a skyscraper. And Virtue tells you that his dormitory was actually in one of the basement floors. So not only does it extend up, it also extends down. And that most of the space is used for labs and experiments, particularly on artifacts which were recovered from Dragon's Rest.
Could we see the top floors?
I mean, I could ask around, but that's kind of where they keep the prismatic shard, and I don't think that they want to let people see that. They've never let me see it. So, but that's where all the rainbow light comes from. Don't know what it does. I assume it's important.
It's a death ray.
They kind of named the university after it.
Why? What? You don't know what it means?
Well, I'm not really. I don't really research Dragon's Rest or the Prismatic Shard or anything. I suppose you could say historian. My whole thing was the calamity and why and how and what happened. So,
God, what a boring historian.
wow.
Not even a postmodernist. Who does this guy even think he fucking is? Loser. Sorry. Cough. Sorry.
Fucking history note.
Anyway,
Cough, cough. Events aren't real. What? Sorry.
It's true.
what?
Calamity never happened.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I see what's going on here. Calm it down, you fucking Nazis.
Cough, cough. Events aren't real. Anyway, carry on, you stupid historian.
Yeah, well, Alex, you said you were going to say something
What was I going to say?
before Matt interrupted you.
Oh, I said, well, let's go and gather your research, and then we can ask around a bit, see if anyone's got anything more that we can pull together.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So he leads you in, and like you just get like a lot of staring faces. You guys stand out at the best of times, and Virtue just sort of like, from what he told you in when you first met him in Sky Meadow, he literally just picked up his stuff and fucking left one day because he got a dream off Istus. So people are sort of surprised to see him back as well. But he leads you down to the dormitories, and like the basement, and like this whole place is like completely different from, you know, the rest of the city where it's all pristine. This all seems just like disorganized and dusty and chaotic and messy, and like no one dares to touch anything that isn't theirs for fear of like it might explode.
So, as I see all this, I did the Virtue say, "Damn, how you live like this."
Like, what the fuck, man? This is where I grew up. I mean, not literally this building, but I studied here. It's
It just reminded me of that fucking meme. It was so funny.
yeah, but he leads you down to his old dormitories, which it's like shared dorms, which are like 10 to a room. And he gets in and he looks over at one of the beds and says, "They fucking moved my stuff out. Those bastards fucking." I mean, I get that I've been gone for like half a month, but Jesus Christ, Sarah. Why does it have hands?
I didn't know where else it will grab its boobs.
Oh my god.
Stop. Why is this one even more detailed?
That's beautiful.
Now.
That's beautiful.
Oh
I want
my
I want it in full colour. Can I have it on a canvas?
Sarah, I dare you post those images on your fucking Twitter page.
I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
That looks
God.
like a
Out
tattoo.
of, no
you do someone
context
right.
either.
Yeah, literally just post.
Sarah's
say
been
some-
accepting furry commissions.
Actually, I was gonna say, yeah, I was just gonna say some new commissions I recently
New
received.
style.
It looks like the type of tattoo you'd see on someone, and then you just know to avoid them instantly.
I'll get that tattooed
Trying
on
out
my
a new
forehead.
market.
Oh man.
Jesus
Which is-
fucking Christ.
It,
I'm
Well,
muting this fucking chat.
Stream's over. Fuck it, we're going home.
I'm just looking at the image I just posted that before that as well. I'm just giggling to myself. reading it.
Oh, Christ.
Fuck. Oh man.
What is this? Okay. I don't even know how to pick back up of help.
I turned to Virtue after he's obviously upset by them moving his stuff and say, well, I mean, you did just kind of pack up and leave.
I mean,
without
I
saying
guess,
anything.
and I've been gone a little while, but it's been like 2 weeks, like a
Yeah,
little
but
longer.
You didn't even tell anyone where you were going.
Yeah, that was my B actually. And he just sort of like dejectedly walks over to a desk and just starts like rooting through it, looking for his notes. It's on my phone.
As he's searching, I try and see if there's anyone nearby who can. It's just some other random Virtue.
And like there are students wandering about, and
I call over to one and ask where they put Virtue stuff.
yeah, he sees the furry calling out to him and just like turns around and walks away as quick as he can.
I say, "Oi! Don't try and run away from me! I will catch you."
Turns
quite
on his
easily."
heel. So you start chasing this guy down the corridor, and he breaks into a run, and you break into a run after him.
And I will definitely catch him.
Oh yeah, look, he's not athletic. He's just a fucking nerd. So
I just so I chase. I'm definitely chasing. I do not like it when people run from me. Potentially ask them a question.
like as he's running, it's like, "Why are you chasing me? Go,
Cause you ran.
fucking cats!" Like, look,
Anyway.
he just like starts throwing things, like starts throwing food over his shoulder, like trying to distract you.
It's like I'm not that dumb, you fool.
I don't know. You're a talking cat. I've never seen one before.
Well, I've never seen a you before. Doesn't mean I'm gonna boast about you.
Clearly, you do not have a scientific mind. Why are you here?
I wanted to ask you a question, and you ran away, and I don't know why. So
I mean,
chased
that's kind of the natural reaction. I mean, I've heard of tabaxi. Is that this?
you. Kind of.
I've never seen one before.
Yeah.
I saw a furry who called out to me, and I was like, "Nope, today's not the fucking day."
What kind of day is gonna happen?
I did not wake up this morning and think I was going to get accosted by a furry.
Forget what by food?
Accosted.
What?
Honestly, understandable. Have a nice day.
I
Just turn to another person.
I still turn around and say, "Well, listen, where the hell did Virtue stuff go? Where did it get put?"
Virtue. Oh, yeah, Virtue, the guy who
The
ran
whole reason you were
away.
there.
Yeah, no, he didn't run away. He went somewhere and forgot to tell people, like an idiot.
Right. He sort of like looks over your shoulder and sees Virtue like dejectedly rooting through desks. He's like, yeah, when we cleared out his desk, because like we've got like quite a few applicants, so like when someone just disappears, we're like, fuck it, they're probably gone. So we kind of gave away his bed, but you know, we kept his stuff because it might be useful if anyone else is ever researching his Calamity dead end shit. And Virtue just sort of droops at hearing that. Maybe his notes would be useful. We keep him in a satchel in the broom closet. And Virtue again just sort of slumps and like walks off towards the broom.
So while he goes and does this, I say, why are you so like negative to his research?
I mean, here's the thing: the calamity was 2,000 years ago, and no one knows what it was. Like,
Then why is it not researched more?
because the research is dead end.
I
Like,
don't know that.
the gods fucking hid the information, and no one's gonna fucking.
What if I told you I
History's
had
boring.
a link to a god that could try and work this shit out?
Did you send me here just to bait me?
He looks at you like you're a crazy person.
I mean, understandable.
He's
like,
just this
trust-
random fucking like intern. He's not even like a decent professor or anything. He's
I
just a
look at it and say,
student.
trust me, I know that. I know the god of imp fucking.
That's not a. I mean,
It's
I'm
something
not
about.
like a
I mean,
massively
she has something to
religious
do with.
person,
She has something
but
to do with fates and shit, but imp fucking as well.
imp. I don't think that's a real. Okay, sure. You are the champion of the god of imp fucking. I believe you. Wink.
I look at him and say, I could make you a god of something in a minute.
A god of imp fucking? Is that
Oh,
the
no.
threat here? I'm confused.
No, it's like I make you into a god of being anally raped. Wait, that came out wrong.
Fucking furries, man.
I just look at him and say, you know what, fuck it, go, just go. We
He like walks away in just abject terror.
And I just look at him and I just as he's walking away, I go over to Virtue and I like make Virtue come and like look like he's like dating me, and I'm like, Virtue, my love. Then I just like doing it to make it really awkward for Virtue.
Yeah.
like,
Again,
later
he
on.
looks really like uncomfortable with the attention, and he's just like not used to being noticed by people. So he's like, I mean, I got my stuff. Fucking have a room here anymore. So there's unless like you guys wanted to get something from the university, like
It's like you don't have a room here anymore. Well, let's sort that out for you, so you can come back to it.
we weren't gonna stick around here anyway. It's fine. I don't want to cause trouble. I don't want to talk. It's fine. Let's just.
I grab him by the hand and say, "Nonsense! Come now."
Okay, and like I guess you just sort of fucking lead him off to where there's a crowd of people. I think.
I'm just like, I just want to find. I'm just like, hi, I need to find a room for Virtue. He's come back. He needs a bed.
There's like like a kind old janitor lady who's like, "Oh, Virtue, sweetheart, you've come back." He's like, "Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire."
I just look at. I look at her and I look at her really.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Doubtfire from the movie Mrs. Doubtfire,
Yeah.
and
I'm like, holy shit! It's Robin Williams.
yeah, the ghost of Robin Williams has come to Horizon, and is she like she doesn't have any ability to give him a room that doesn't exist, but like she offers him a bed in like I don't know the like cleaners' quarters or whatever, the place where all the staff sleeps, like the support staff, like the chefs and the cleaners and such.
I look and say, that's very kind, but surely as a researcher, you should have a researcher's bed, a room in the researching wing, rather than.
She's like, well, aren't you an ungrateful little furry bit?
I just like to say, listen here, you fucking man. I know who you really are.
Who told you?
How dare you?
I look at it as like, my virtue deserves his respect as a researcher. I grab him and hold him tight and says, his research is important and he needs the time and space required for him.
He needs to grow.
He's a growing boy. He needs
is.
space. And Virtue's like, please, you're crushing me.
And I'm just like, shh, I'm helping, trust me.
I don't think you are.
Nonsense, Virtue. You do not know what this truly is.
I need to spell list. What's he have? Does he have Misty Step? Nope. Fuck.
There is no escape.
There is no escape.
the cat mommy. Oh god. I'm sorry, Logan. I can't help myself sometimes.
Yeah, he casts Healing Word on himself.
And I'm like, if we cannot find him a bed, I'm sure he'll be fine, but I'll see if we can get a researcher's bed. Carry on towards someone who might help in getting him a bed in the researcher's wing.
Sure, there's Professor Gilded Brow, who is...
Gilded brow?
Yep, Gilded Brow.
Is it
And
melted eyebrows?
yep, because
Oh.
he is an elf with no eyebrows and instead just has like glittery gold painted on eyebrows. But he is the dean of students, and he's like, "Oh, Virtue, you have returned to us." And like, as far as you can tell, he looks like he's maybe 16, but he speaks like he's at least 40.
Right.
That's a rather young elf.
Mm-hmm. It's like, "Oh, you're a rather furry. Shut the fuck up." How's about that?
It's like, hey,
What a dick!
I was giving you a compliment, you ass.
Oh, sorry. It sounded like an insult. I
No,
take it back.
You look like you must be quite a young elf, and you're dean of a massive research and university.
No, I'm just like really good at magic. So like, this isn't what my
Exactly.
face really looks like. I was called Gilded Brow, so I did some magic to spruce it up, and you know the joke's already fallen flat.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I suppose I can put you on like a priority list for when a bed does come up, Virtue. But there's like we had a lot of new applicants, and
Well, they don't matter. Virtue is already a researcher.
Can you just
Basically,
make
I'm
us
being a.
virtue
Oh my
stuff?
god! I'm making your Karen.
she's such a Karen. Right?
I'm being a Karen.
My special virtue.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
I mean, he's technically a graduate. We kind of let him stay because he was doing research here, but no one really expected. Oh shit! I shouldn't be saying this in front of him. Virtue, please stand outside. And I mean, I guess you're still like holding on to Virtue, so
It's like I'm just like,
yeah, I literally
what are you-
can't escape.
yeah, I just look at him and I'm like, I look at the dean and it's like, I'm like, do not upset him right now. You will upset me.
Look, I tell you what, we can try and get him back his old quarters and see if we can like shift some stuff around and you know shift some people around and would that be satisfactory? They're just
say-
like, no, I really don't want to cause any trouble. I mean, again soon. I don't. There's no need to really.
Is
It's
there
fine.
a private quarter that we can have?
Absolutely not. No.
And why is that?
Because they are all occupied by real researchers.
What do you mean by what? He's a real researcher. Listen here, you friggly ass little
Who
slut.
the fuck even are you?
Do you want me to punch you? Because that would hurt.
No.
Exactly. Now,
Threats of violence are. It's it's not really how you get things done, you know.
Trust me, I've always threatened violence, and it has always gotten.
Oh boy, I couldn't tell that.
Now, listen here, you old Dean slutbag.
Right.
We need a room.
Okay, make
Private
an
room.
intimidation check.
Please, for the love of God, this best work. Oh my God, it was about 20! Fuck you, Logan!
Okay, fine. He was gonna have you escorted out, but now he's genuinely intimidated by you. It's like, look, okay, fuck. I mean, he can have my room. Shit.
Perfect!
Don't hurt me.
Perfect! Move your shit out right away.
What? No,
Come
I'm
on,
not leaving my room.
You just said you could have it.
Yeah? You can share. Fuck you.
Oh, you gotta share. Oh, okay then. Virtue, put your stuff where you need to, and then take what we need to carry on our adventure.
I mean, I can get a bunk bed moved in, I guess, but I call top bunk.
Is that satisfactory with you, Virtue?
I mean, guys, I don't think this is really necessary. I'm really sorry, Dean. I didn't mean to cause all this trouble. I came to pick up my stuff, and
It's like, that's fine then. You can be the bottom bunk, not a problem. He'll take the bottom bunk. The deal is confirmed. He will sleep here when he is back and returns. And
did I just get called a bottom? What?
Virtue isn't a bottom. Right,
He's totally a bottom.
No, right? It's like, come, Virtue, we'll need to look at your research in more detail with the rest. Put whatever stuff you're not taking with you in wherever available.
I mean, I have literally one satchel of stuff, apparently. I guess, like, everything that they thought wasn't essential, they just binned, assholes.
I look at the dean. So is that true now?
Yes, it is. We kept his notes and any reference materials in that satchel, and everything else was removed for the sake of organization.
Okay, then. So what? Half of your stuff is now Virtue's.
Yes.
Got rid of his stuff, and therefore now you must now give him half your stuff.
I tell you what. I will have a discussion with Virtue.
I can pay you. I will give you 2 platinum pieces.
Oh, fucking wow. 20 gold for worldly.
Plus, and then I pull out my 2 bottles of fine wine. Plus these 2 bottles of fine wine.
Am I getting solicited right now? What's happening?
We can drink them together if you want, Dean. That is not a problem.
It's I'm sorry, that's not really I'm good, thank you. I'm not really much of a drinker. That's not true. I just don't want to drink with you.
Understandable.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you here. You get the me and
Understandable. If I had a drink in me right now, we would totally be in bed together.
Also, you're kind of a Karen.
What?
I really wish you would leave.
What did you just say? You're kind of a Karen.
Yeah.
I mean, understandable when it comes to my virtue.
My precious demon boy.
Yes. The same goes with Hierarchan. my virtue and my Hierarchan. They are my
Precious demon nerds. I will protect.
Yep.
Which is like, can we please go find the others before I
Okay.
burst a blood vessel?
Now, Virtue. There's no need for no need for that. I've gotten you your room back, a much better room at that point as well. Don't worry, you do not need to owe me anything. Come then.
He's like physically shrinking into his shoulders, trying to make himself as unnoticed as possible.
It's impossible now, Virtue. You're literally going to be sharing quarters with the dean of this university.
He's the dean of students. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Can we go?
Exactly. I just got you into a position, kind of.
If you hadn't rolled a natural 20 there, I would absolutely have had you escorted out then.
I can't believe I got a nat 20. That's so mint for me. Anyway. Now that
Okay.
I've got Virtue the quarters he deserves, we can leave and find the rest of the party. Any
Okay.
clue where they've gone?
It's like, we should have asked them beforehand. I mean, Jeremiah said he was going to Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess.
I suppose we can go there.
I kind of thought Hyakim would want to come with us, but then he didn't. So I have no idea where him and Art went.
I mean, I feel bad for Hyakin not following us, which is strange.
Thanks.
Yeah, because Art, I only because Art will probably go stealing shit like he would anyway.
Yeah, Art's kind of a force of chaos. I've noticed that.
Yes.
You guys didn't get to see the crazy horse with boobs or anything.
Yep.
No, that is
Virtue was
correct.
thankfully not scarred by that one.
Nobody's scarred by the fact that he is thrust into
Spell
the
magic.
center of the university.
It's all right. When we meet up, I can explain it to you in intricate detail.
He
I
hasn't
can't-
even
Provide
modified memory.
drawings.
He has detect.
I'll provide some drawings. Some tasteful nudes.
Some
Jesus
artists
Christ.
decided to draw these while they could.
Yeah, Art can provide tasteful nudes.
Oh God.
He
I'm
has them
sure-
in abundance.
I'm sure he can.
Someone wants some tasteful nudes? I got some tasteful nudes.
I got your tasteful nudes right here.
I'm just in a long trench coat, open up one side, showing tasteful nudes hanging from the jacket.
Of skeletal horses.
Some skeletal horses and a CEO.
And a CEO, of course.
Okay, where are you guys going?
Well, probably towards the sanctuary of the Mother Goddess, because that's the only place we know where someone might
Yeah.
be.
Okay, that's a pretty far distance, so we're going to jump back to the others, and I'd say that like Hyakin and Art, just for the sake of simplicity, you got to meet up with Jeremiah sort of near to the Hunter's Commission, but quite find it or something, and sort of ran into him while you were searching, which is strange because it's probably the only actual distinct building in the area which is visible to the sky, because the Hunter's Commission is like twice the size of anything else in this entire area. And I should explain, it's kind of like this huge indoors section of the city, which it's called the Archers District because all these different roofs are all like connected to one another by large archways, which sort of extend and create this weird patchwork ceiling across the entire thing. And it's not quite an industry sector, but it is like the crafting sector. It's where like leather workers, carpenters, or basically like the guilds area of the city. And the Hunters Commission is kind of this weird makeshift building compared to the rest of the city. It's all constructed out of wood and seems like it's been broken and repaired 100 times. So like none of the wood seems to match, or like the grains are all in different directions. There's different like half beaten up tapestries hanging from the outer walls as you enter into it, and you just hear like the sound of metal on metal as blades are being sharpened indoors as you all approach. But I think if you guys are all going to go in, as you throw the doors open, the entire place, which was rowdy, suddenly goes silent, and dozens of eyes will turn on, and everyone in the entire building is enormous and muscular and like carrying just comically oversized weapons.
I let Ott go in first, and I hide behind him, cowering. Don't look at
Well,
me.
I'm fairly invisible, so I'm going to stealth my way in.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I'm going to try and sneak in behind you.
Okay, Jeremiah, what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna probably hide.
Okay.
We've all Brits.
Jeremiah, you have disadvantage.
Hide.
I got 21 on my stealth.
Okay.
Right, let's roll.
Hierarchy.
Gonna be honest, guys. It might be a bit of a miracle if I.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting you to master this.
Oh, not awful.
Disadvantage, so roll again.
Oh god, fucking damn it!
You're wearing plate armor or chainmail or something.
You're just racist to people who wear
That's a
awesome
dex
plate
saving throw,
armor.
not a stealth check.
Oh, am I in the wrong section?
15. Disadvantage.
15.
15.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
not
Oh,
all.
it was even worse.
Okay, 3.
Amazing.
So, I think what it is that you two are both able to slip in unnoticed and like take seats at a long table, which is filled with people who just don't really notice you because when you walk in, Hayakin just like his jaw hits the floor and goes, "Ah!" It's all this attention.
I
is
play it
suddenly
off as a
focused on
yawn.
him.
Play it off as a yawn, and then I'm just hi, wave at people, and just casually walk in and try and sit next to him.
Actually, before I sit down, can
That'll
I?
have to be a performance check, surely.
Before I sit down, can I try and steal like something that would make me look a little bit more suited to be in the area?
Oh my
You're
god! Don't
going
go
to
stealing
take-
anything.
A whole outfit.
Not a whole outfit, just
What?
I don't know, a hat, maybe a necklace or something. I don't know.
Oh my god! I see what he's about to do, and I just walk off in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Sure, make a sleight of hand, I guess.
19.
I don't even know what you're really trying to do here.
Just trying to blend in.
Sure, like you there's like all these trophies like hanging on, and I don't mean like metal trophies, I mean like, you know, dead monster heads and such, and you see, oh, lots of these people are wearing like monster hides that which are incorporated into their armor. So you take like the head of some sort of wyvern that is hanging on the wall and you just put it on top of your head and you're like, yes, this is my hat. It is my wyvern hat. And no one notices you take it off the wall, but you don't really fit in any better because that's the stupidest thing I've heard in my life.
Well, you got yourself a nice hat over it,
Got
anyway.
myself a nice
Yeah.
hat, yeah. Can I steal like? Oh no, I went to go.
No, what were you going to steal now? Please
I was-
indulge me.
I was just gonna look for some necklaces or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Change
no.
stuff. No. Yeah, no, I wasn't
Please
going to.
no.
I changed my mind.
Okay, Matt, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna keep my head down.
Okay. I mean, sort of like the base level of this area appears to be, it's sort of like a mead hall sort of area where a lot of these hunters are just gathered and are drinking and chatting amongst one another. There appears to be an upstairs area and appears to be just a huge wooden board with not even like requests written on it, just pictures of monsters, and you recognize a few of them. And someone walks up and like places a really like well detailed drawing of a wyvern on the board. I mean, at the minute, I guess Hayakin is the only one who's really stood out. So, like, you're the only person who's going to get questioned, and I don't think it's like unfriendly because it's not like you're unwelcome here, but you're obviously not here to join because you really couldn't look less like a hunter. So,
That's true.
So, like, I think one of the hunters up to you, and he's just this enormous guy who's wearing a tunic which appears to be made out of like the scales of some sort of lizard-like creature that you've never seen before, and he's left his weapon at the table. He's like, "Oh, little man, are you here to make a request? What? How can we help you today?"
Right. So I pluck up some courage and try and act as brave as I can, and I go, "Hi, nice to meet you. You see that creature that they've just put the picture up on the wall over there? We took some of them down earlier. I mean, I may not look
Really,
like
that's
you guys.
impressive for such a little guy.
It's all thanks to my magic abilities, you know.
Oh, of
We
course,
don't
you're
all
one
need
of
big, strong
you're
weapons.
one of those wizards. I see.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of all about strength and outwitting monsters, and I mean, you've seen our weapons. They're not really designed for anything other than killing monsters.
I mean, they look very impressive, but if I tried to pick one up, I don't think I'd be able to
Oh,
move.
you wouldn't be able to do it. And like he walks over back to his weapon and he hefts this sword, which is literally larger than you, and just like drops it down in front of you. And it's this enormous iron sword, which seems to have like it doesn't have a serrated blade naturally, but like monster fangs have been sort of forged into the metal to like give it a serrated blade. He's like, no, go ahead, try and pick that one up.
Okay, I'll give it a try. I flex my muscles.
Yeah.
And go,
You,
okay, then let's
Take
see.
a strength check.
Oh, hold on, my computer's crashed.
I think in your skills page there's a strength check.
Strength. I can't see it. I can see stealth, survival, sleight of hand.
Below all that, hang on.
religion. I have one that's called It's
Now,
Cheese.
It's cheese. Below that, where it says other unskilled strength check.
Ah, okay.
It's cheese.
21.
It's cheese. What?
21?
Oh, wait.
No, 13.
No,
Yeah.
wait. Stupid. It
12
keeps
plus.
messing up. Someone else must have rolled 21 somewhere else.
Oh,
That's weird.
what?
Okay, 30. I mean, you do a lot better than anyone expected lifting this thing.
Do I
And you
lift
are
it off the floor?
You actually are able to lift it off the floor, but this thing weighs more than you, so you'll sort of like stagger backwards trying to balance its weight. And this hunter like reaches out with one hand and like grabs the back of the blade to steady it and take the weight off you. He's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, kid, that I'm kind of impressed. I didn't think you'd be able to lift that. I misjudged you. He like slaps you on the shoulder so hard that you just fall down.
I'll just say, oh, go on.
So you were here to tell us that you've killed some of these wyverns.
Yes,
It's
it
a
was me
weird
and my
thing.
two friends sat over there as well. If
And you point out who is wearing a wyvern on top of his head. And it's like, it's mounted on a plaque as well. So it's like a wooden plaque on top of your head.
The entire plaque, not just like the head on my head.
Yeah.
Like I'm peering through that.
So he looks over and is like, I don't see anyone. Are you sure they're here, or is it behind the idiot with the plaque on his head?
I'll just say he may look like an idiot, but he's a good guy, really.
He's a good idiot.
He's a good idiot.
Neutral idiot.
Chaotic neutral.
Press
Chaotic idiot.
Press X to doubt.
Yeah. And Jeremiah, it's not really that you don't fit in because it's a building full of like big, heavily armored people. But even your greatsword seems, because your greatsword was actually practically designed to be useful against things smaller than an elephant. It's still like dwarfed by weapons in here, and it's not just swords. There's like enormous bows that are as tall as a person, or hammers and axes, and weapons that you don't recognize. So I think you fit in better than the others, but you probably still, if you hadn't rolled so well on stealth, they would have been like, "Oh, who's this guy? He thinks he's a tough man."
Well, they're all compensating. I'm pretty happy with my greatsword, so I'm just going to chill back. I am going to actually ask where their chapel is, because they said that they had one here.
Right, and I think if they notice the holy symbol, of, like if you draw attention to yourselves, I think one of the, probably the same hunter who's been talking to you guys, walk over is like, "Oh, a follower of Cord, yeah." The chapel, well, the shrine is upstairs. He's not a widely worshipped god up here in the sky, but we like to devote ourselves to Cord because of he represents overcoming opponents with might, empowering the weak. So, I mean, you already know all this. You bloody worship the guy, but he leads you up, and it's not anything tremendously opulent, unlike the rest of the city. But there is a shrine to Cord, and it overlooks a window which looks out on the training grounds behind the building, where you can see people who appear to be constructing some sort of traps, and people are sharpening weapons or like training maneuvers. And I think as a martial fighter, you're able to sort of appreciate that it's not a practical fighting style for like fighting against a person, because you were in the military and that sort of way you were trained. But fighting against something much, much larger, like a dragon, some sort of monster, you could certainly see how like there's a lot of skill that does go into their fighting styles.
Yeah. Okay, so they're actually trained.
Mm-hmm. But it's one of the things with is a lot of his sort of shrines and temples are also either like arenas or training grounds or or something like that, because one of his main tenets is becoming powerful, but helping others to become. So it's not nearly as opulent as the rest of the city, but that's kind of fitting for the god.
Yeah. Okay.
But what's interesting is as you pray to Cord, since you've come to Horizon, you haven't really sort of felt much of a connection to Cord. Suddenly, you feel a presence which you weren't able to previously feel.
Okay.
Having come to one of his shrines and worshipped.
Okay.
Nothing in particular, like, miraculous happened at the moment, but you are able to, like, as a paladin, you have a magical connection to Cord, which still existed, but felt much weaker since coming to Horizon. Now
Okay.
it seems renewed. And in the meantime, I suppose you would have been called into this conversation as well. Hyarkin has just talked you up, but this leader of the Hunters Commission, he will have introduced himself by now. His name is Matthew.
Right.
He is talking to you about the contract that they've just had on these wyverns. Well, it's an unusual thing. From what we've been told, they're gathering a treasure hoard. Which, I mean, we do a lot of research on monsters. We have to, because it's kind of our big advantage over monsters is they're bigger than us and they're stronger than us, and they have poison fangs, or they can breathe fire or turn you to stone. We're generally smarter than most monsters. So we do a lot of research, and it's unusual for wyverns to build up a treasure hoard. what we think could have happened is we wonder if maybe a dragon has settled in their nest, because we've known that a wyvern nest existed in the area for some time, but it hasn't really been an issue. If a dragon has settled in their nest and sort of become the boss of the nest, it could have sent them out to gather a treasure hoard. So, I mean, at the minute, we're still gathering information. We don't know whether that's correct or not. We need to actually send out a scouting party to find out whether it's the case. And hopefully it isn't, and we can just fucking kill some wyverns. We're pretty good at that. Dragons are a much bigger problem, especially depending on the age. A young dragon you can have with a party of trained hunters. An adult dragon, or God forbid, an elder dragon, we'd really be screwed. So, I mean, you guys said you took on a bunch of wyverns. Is there any insight you'd like to share?
They like gold.
Yes, they. Well, that's
You
okay.
can tempt them
Wait.
with gold.
Who are you? How did you get here?
Fake
I was
gold.
gonna say,
Nobody
we're
was
not-
saying anything.
You can tempt them with fake gold.
You can, and they're quite
Right.
dumb, so they'll be tempted for a while.
I'm guessing this comes from experience.
Yeah, we're speaking from experience. They did try and fly off with some treasures.
Right. I mean, that supports the gathering
Yeah.
of treasure hoard. It could be useful, at least in bait for traps. For the best way to take down a creature is you trap it on the ground, kill it quickly before it can react. If they're not intelligent at all, it might be easier to make them fall for it. Are they particularly stupid or just ordinary wyvern stupid?
Presume just ordinary. We haven't
Ordinary,
really
yeah.
encountered any other,
Okay.
so couldn't really say.
Right, I mean, it makes sense. I don't know what you are, a wizard.
I don't know what I am either.
Okay.
Jesus.
You're obviously not a monster hunter. And I think while you're having this conversation, Jeremiah, you finished up your worshipping, presumably, and come back downstairs.
Cool.
And you see, like, I think it's now that you notice that, like, every single weapon in this place does have a holy symbol of God carved into, like, weapons. Which, I can't actually remember what the symbol is. I think it's on your character sheet. In a sec. Not on that one. No. Turns off. I'm sure I wrote down what his holy symbol was. I'll tell you afterwards.
Cool.
But yeah, it seems like every single hunter is at least a devotee of Cord.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't. So I think, like, while you guys have been doing this, Risu and Yolya, you can be headed to the Sanctuary of Goddess. And, I mean, you find it much the same way that, Jeremiah found it. It's this sort of weird makeshift triage for soldiers. And Brother Gabriel is still wandering around, bothering some, asking them questions about the undead that attack them. He looks over at you as like, "Oh, are you that knightly fellow's friends?" He did say there would be others. Is it just you?
So I say, was he like really old and shit? I don't really know.
I mean, he
how
was
else to
young
describe
compared to me, but big sword, holy symbol of Cord. I think he went
Oh.
off to the Hunters Commission.
Oh yeah, that'd be the dude.
Big
Ah.
god, big ego. Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's definitely about right. so, I'm guessing he was just alone.
Yeah, he came here on his own.
Yeah.
He said that there were other friends and that he would try and find them. I sent him off in the direction of the Hunters Commission because, well, I didn't. One of the other clerics did. Sent him off in the direction of the Hunters Commission because he's a worshipper of Cord, and they are.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I guess he didn't find you then.
No, we came from the university.
Ah, right.
I grabbed Virtue by his shoulders and say, "I just got his room. A much better room at that as well. Isn't that right, Virtue?"
Please let go of me.
You know that one.
Hello, sir.
He's a researcher. He's going to be one of the best in the world soon.
It's like, your mother sounds very proud of you, young man.
I just have a big bearded smile.
Can you see the resemblance?
I mean, I assumed adopted, but like,
If it
tiefling
wasn't,
genetics are weird. No offense.
I say, anyway, we'll head ourselves off to the Hunters Commission. Where was it again?
He'll direct you. It's in the. It's here at A.
Okay then. Thank you. We'll head that way now. Come. Let's
It's nice meeting you. Ask the young man if he's made any decisions about this whole undead thing. Who are you intimidating?
No, Taito is.
Who is Taito intimidating?
The guy.
It's like, oh, this is a lovely cat. He's very
Hello there.
friendly.
It didn't quite work.
I'm just like, well, at least I tried.
He gives Taito a fish.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, man. So I guess we'll probably be back soon. I have no idea what he.
Okay, I think for the sake of brevity, then the party is able to gather at the Hunters Commission, and I don't know exactly what sort of stupid things Art has probably been doing in the meantime. I'm sure he will enlighten us.
More pickpocketing.
Okay.
And stealing plaques off walls.
Okay. In that case, it's all just sort of devolved at this point to at some point someone is doing something stupid, and now there's a competition like who can stack the most plaques on top of Art's head before they all fall off. And at the minute, Matthew holds the record at 11 bullet skulls. And
do we gamble on this?
You have no idea what a bullet is, but a skull kind of looks like a shark. So, it's an enormous tower that reaches up thing.
Okay. Is that when?
Yeah, I think that's when you guys open the door. Art is sat there with just a heap of huge shark skulls on top of his head.
I just look at it for 1 second and surprised by this, and continue to find where the others are.
Okay, I assume the rest of you are also present somewhere in the room. This is the part where you're meant to say yes.
Guys, hello.
They've left
Yes,
to rob
we're here.
things.
Okay.
Wait, is that including me or excluding me?
Well, I assume that you're in the room that you're in, Rob, but
I've been
Matt, for
bouncing things
example.
on Art's head.
Okay. You've been helping to reinforce the bullet tower.
Yeah.
Matt, what are you up to?
Yeah, doing the same. Sorry,
Okay.
just a bit. Sorry, I'm just doing SO.
Okay. So yeah, the party is reunited, and you look over at again the room goes silent as everyone looks at you, but now it's sort of like a oh shit, we've been caught doing something stupid sort of silence, as opposed to a who the fuck are these guys silence.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just gonna be like, I don't even care. I walk over to Jeremiah. It's like, we just come from the sanctuary temple place, and you were there, right?
Matt?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What was that, Alex?
Oh my days! What are you doing?
No, you're just very quiet for some reason on my shift your volume up.
What? Shift my volume up. I'm not.
Yeah.
normal.
No, he's going to.
There you go. Sorry.
Right. So I says, right, me and Risu just come from the sanctuary temple place. You were there, right? What did you hear? Discover.
Not much, honestly. Did a bit of praying, chilled, vibed. Yeah, back down now.
So nothing important, no?
No, not really.
I mean, you do feel more enlightened, though, don't you?
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I'm guessing that's something I really wouldn't noticed. That's kind of something or brought up because I guess that would be more of a religious thing than I would have thought would be kind of.
So as well, and then I told him, well, either way, we managed to get all of Virtue's research stuff, and I grab him again by the shoulder, and I got him a new room at the team. He's sharing with the dean. He's gonna be important someday.
I mean, I'm more confused why you keep telling everyone about this.
Because Virtue, I am very.
He's
Right,
like,
what we
well,
cut out.
since I assume the word was proud.
Yes, very proud of you.
Okay. Virtue is like, well, I guess if everyone's gathered here, then we could like go over, my notes and that on. Well, I don't fucking know. What's with all the skulls? Oh, what? He's just uncomfortable at all the attention on him.
What? No,
He's
do me.
trying to
Look over
reflect
there.
onto what?
It's like
Stop looking at me.
I turn to Virtue, say, "Come now, leave the idiot to his own beings. We have more important things to look at."
No, I'm sure
Your
this is really
research.
important, just like everything else is.
I literally researchism, now isn't it? Very important to our duties. We need this information.
Right. So there's kind of a lot of ears here, but I mean, like, if you guys, I mean, you seem to be getting along okay with the enormous, heavily armed hunters. So I guess if you're fine with talking about all like fate touch stuff here, then I can tell you about my my research.
I mean,
Yeah,
these
you
guys
can
really
do.
care.
They don't really seem like they're going to cause any harm.
I was gonna
I
say.
mean, I think like
They seem nice
now-
enough.
Now that the competition to stack stuff on Ott's head has ended, now they've sort of gone to playing like a weird skull Jenga on top of Ott's head. And they're only half listening.
Sitting perfectly still. But like, if there's anyone that tries to play something on top of my head that I don't like, I just wriggle it a little bit.
I mean, they're playing Jenga, so they're like removing a skull and putting it again at the top of the pile. But at some point, the skulls are all going to come crashing down. And Rich is like, well, okay, so
I wriggled my head.
I've been.
Everything
Okay,
crashes
roll a
down.
d20.
Okay. Oh, 3.
Okay, the pile doesn't fall. It does wriggle precariously down.
Okay.
And one of the hunters smacks. Hold still. So Rich is okay. So I've been doing some thinking about why Ista sent you guys to me, because we've been traveling together for like half a month now, and I haven't really awakened any sort of special powers or anything. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm probably never going to be important in like the same way that you guys are, which it's kind of a relief to me, because I'm not like brave or strong like you guys are. But I mean, by now Istus has made clear that this Zernas creature is similar to whatever attacked Horizon during the Calamity, which just so happens that that is my field of study. So if Istus sent you to me, then maybe my theories on it are a little closer to the truth than that of all those 2 other people in the world that are still studying the Calamity. But maybe she sent you to me because she wanted me to give you some idea of what you were up against. And so he sort of spreads out all the contents of this satchel, and you find it is full scribbled in notes, and it's all loose pieces of paper which haven't been bound together properly, so they've all come apart when he scattered them across the desk, and drawn nigh indecipherable symbols and diagrams and all sorts of just crap that you don't really know what any of this is. He's like,
what language is it in?
It will all be in common, but it's the symbols definitely don't look like any sort of script that you've ever seen, especially. So, first things first, the Calamity was 2,000 years ago, so there's basically nothing alive now. I remember exactly, except maybe in Dragon's Rest, there's an ancient dragon that kind of rules the roost over there, and there's a tribe of storm giants that apparently live somewhere on the other side of the continent, which near-ish Nexus, I guess. What we do know is that the world was ruled by an incredibly powerful race of demi-giants, the Colossi. And this was before the Calamity, at least. They were really powerful spellcasters, but they didn't draw their power from the goddess of magic, Mithra. Instead, they drew it from a world beyond this one, the Far Realm, which is apparently where Zernas is from. At least according to you guys and Istus. They had a big war against dragons, and they enslaved a lot of races that we now know as the elves and humans and dragons and such. And they created the cities that are now known as Nexus and Dragonrest as twin capital cities on the continent. I mean, keep in mind, no one really knows what caused, the fucking world to end. But we know a couple of things that it did involve. For example, we know that the Colossi as a race were completely wiped out, and that the goddess Mithra died during it. I mean, people obviously have their own theories about what caused it, and I wonder if maybe Istus sent you to me because maybe my own theory is closer to other people's.
So what's your theory then?
Okay. My theory is that it was initially caused by an entity or entities from the Far Realm that invaded Horizon to reclaim the power that I had been using. And he's sort of pointing out...
I like that it's...
What?
Huh?
Hello?
Excuse me? And he's sort
Don't
of
worry.
pointing out diagrams of indecipherable diagrams, which you assume are some sort of rules from the Far Realm, possibly. But it's my belief that these entities came to reclaim the power that the Colossi had been using from their realm, which meant that the Colossi, who had been reliant on their magic, were more or less powerless against them. This could go some way to explaining why the barriers around this world are so much weaker than normal, and why we have such a planar portals and such. I mean, you've seen issues with planar portals and GIF coming in to invade city such already. But what I think is one of the weird things is it doesn't really explain how Mithra died, the goddess of magic, who we know did die during the calamity because she was reincarnated about 100 years afterwards. But my belief is that the Colossi killed her and harnessed her power to use it as a weapon against these invaders. And I have no idea if that's even possible, how that could be accomplished, but we're talking about a civilization that literally dominated the entire world up until this point. So if anyone was capable of it, maybe it was them. I don't really know how war ended, but we kind of know what the aftermath was. Mithra died, and so there was 100 years of unbound magic and chaos as storms racked the entire world, and islands rose into the sky. After 100 years, Mithra was reincarnated as Mithra, the goddess who is, she's now considered to be a patron goddess of this world and of magic. You guys, me, have all visited the temple in this city, which is devoted to her. I mean, I don't know how much of this is correct, but I feel like I was supposed to tell you that big exposition dump, and maybe that's why you were sent to me in Sky Meadow rather than just being straight to Nexus or wherever you guys need to be to stop this Zernas thing. Is maybe she wanted me to tell you guys at least some idea of what you were up against. I mean, the only people who are going to have more answers than me would either be the dragons, who historically warred against the Colossi, or storm giants, who the Colossi were a sub-race of.
So is there anything else that you can think of that might help, or is there any way you think that might give us more answers?
I mean, the thing is, it's been a tremendously long, and any place that does have answers is incredibly dangerous because it's kind of ground zero for the motherfucking apocalypse.
We should go.
I mean, I was about to list a couple of places it did happen. Obviously, Dragon's Rest was when next planning an expedition previously.
Logan, you were cutting out a lot, so you have to repeat.
Okay. So he said that Dragon's Rest was one twin capital, and the other one was Nexus, where he previously planning an expedition to. There are various cities on below the cloud, but that whole place is terrifyingly dangerous. I mean, if you wanted to go below the clouds, citadels are the best way down because they have connections to the dwarf fortresses below.
I mean, do you think we're ready to go there?
I mean, people are able to live down there. And you guys are a lot stronger than most people. I'm not really a brave person, and I don't want to, but I also don't want to go to Dragon's Rest. And I did want to go to Nexus, but if we want to go to Nexus, we can't do it from the sky. So I kind of leave it in your hands. You were the ones who were entrusted with this super special mission.
So I think we need to try and contact him fucker again.
Okay, I mean,
how do we get in contact with her?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's just like, well,
what did we do to him last?
To get in contact with her last time, you went to a temple devoted to Istus.
And she kind of spoke to us.
I don't think there's a temple devoted here unless someone's.
Virtue
Someone's
Pops,
got a
there
little
isn't one
shrine.
devoted to Istus, but there is one devoted to Istus, which you guys have all visited today.
Her sisters.
Mithras.
Maybe we can try and
Yeah.
contact her. I don't know how that would be possible, but we could see what is possible.
Is this going to be one of those things where we have to call someone to call someone to call someone to pass on a message to call someone to call someone to call someone, and we eventually get through? But it takes
Yeah,
like
I
2
think
weeks.
that might be right there.
Oh.
Let's make a booty call.
Make a bit. So
Wait, is the imp dead? I can't remember.
Yeah, the imp is dead.
yeah, the imp is dead.
Oh.
Twice now.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Because I remember he got like cast into a sheet of rock, like the guy in like Han Solo in Star Wars.
No, he was more turned into a statue.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, sure. He got petrified.
He got petrified, so it's just had a dildo.
No, he's dead. She got rid of him.
Rip in pieces.
So yeah, I think maybe if we try and speak with Mithras, see if she can give us some kind of idea, because maybe it's a possibility that we can contact these gods, being that we can contact one of them. Why can't we contact all of them?
Okay. They're just like, well, I guess if you headed to the sanctuary, the Mother Goddess again, see about doing something about that. I have no idea how you would do that.
I mean,
It's not really my area of expertise.
I don't think it's our area of expertise, Virtue. Don't worry. We just kind of move through this right now.
We'll just try everything until we get through.
Yeah, I was gonna say we try this. It doesn't work. We
Yep.
go see the dwarfs and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Because we go to somewhere that's really dangerous.
I mean,
okay.
maybe we could try and find some other people that have been down there. They might be able to give us
That
bit
might,
of a
they might be
steer
able
on
to say, yeah, people
on what to
can-
do.
If people do live down there, they might be able. They might have stories, history.
Yeah, there might be some people that have come back and forth.
I mean, people have come back and forth the sky historically. During the Troubled Times, which was the 100 years before Mithras was reincarnated, the races didn't really have a lot of contact with each other. But after things sort of stabilized, Mithras sort of brought magic back under control. The Elven Citadels in particular were able to establish contact with and the gnomes below, who had built built fortresses within the craters below the cities, where the cities had rose into the sky. So there's actually
hope those cities don't come back down again.
Yeah,
well,
What goes up must come down. What?
Yeah.
let's hope not.
yeah,
I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to go. Sorry, I've
Okay.
realised I've got a lot of stuff I need to get on. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry, I'll actually catch up this time. Don't worry. Sorry.
I know.
Okay.
All that time. I keep, I record these vlogs just for you. Vlogs? No.
Yeah, these vlogs.
Vlogs. It's just my
Hi,
face. I don't
guys.
actually record the session. It's just my face.
Yeah.
No one's ever noticed.
It's actually you don't even record like our audio.
No.
You just cut it. So do you cut it so it's only the bits where you're talking?
Yeah.
It's 3 hours of the only bits that I talk in. It's just my face.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of empty silence where I'm just sitting there staring at the screen.
Just staring at it.
Very sorry. I'm gonna have to head off.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right. So you can
Bye,
tune
Simon.
in.
Meantime, we'll-
You can tune
Yeah,
in,
will
man.
do. See you in a bit.
See you later.
Sorry.
Cheers.
Bye.
yeah, bye bye.
See ya.
Okay.
What a dickwad.
Yeah, can you believe that shit? So what do you guys really think of Matt?
Probably got knob cheese. I don't know.
Yeah.
Poo face.
He's got poopy face.
I hope he does catch up on this video now. When we're able to tell him, we should say something. Say it back when he
Yeah.
hasn't watched it.
Yeah.
We have
So,
to give him a secret password.
so he's got us. Yeah, the secret passcode could be the time
Secret
that we're
passcode.
talking about. The secret passcode, which is at 1 hour 59 minutes and like 12 or 8 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
He has to say
I was
that.
gonna
He's
say
not
the
allowed
secret passcode
That
is
that
secret
entire
password.
phrase, 12 or
That
8
whole thing.
seconds. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there is literally connect the Citadel of the Moon to I think the fortress is called Bulwark beneath it, or alternatively the Citadel of the Land, which is far to the north of here, is has a much stronger connection to the ground below because they have a teleportation network set up that connects them.
That sounds easier.
But that's a very long journey to get to there. This is just what Virtue would be able to tell you.
Okay.
No.
What's the method of getting down there from the city?
Oh, it's a rickety fucking elevator. I'll tell you that much.
Sounds fun.
I can confirm, does not look fun whenever I've seen it. I used to live next to it.
Oh wow, interesting.
I mean, like, they transport a lot of heavy cargo. The odds of, like, it breaking under the weight of a bunch of people, probably pretty low.
Out of curiosity, if I morphed into something else, do I get its weight or anything?
Yes.
Cool.
You don't get abilities, but your, like, weight and
Yeah.
stuff would change.
Turn yourself into a bouncy ball or something.
I was going to say a dragon.
Or
No, you're going to turn into humanoids.
Damn it. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
you guys wanted to go back to the Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess then?
Yeah, I think so. Try and get in contact.
Okay. So you fast travel back to the Sanctuary of the Mother Goddess.
Yep.
And I think it's starting to get into like early evening by now because it was probably late morning when you arrived. You trekked all over the city and spoken to various people throughout the day. You pissed around at the mission for a few hours. And
Pickpocketed a few people.
yeah, I think at some point the Jenga tower like came down just onto the like desk.
I was going to try and
during
wait
Virtue's
till
big exposition dump.
I was going to wait till like he was talking about something really, really crucially important and just go, I wriggled my head.
So yeah, it's probably like early evening by now, but you can still see all the lights are on in the temple, and like really exhausted like cleric at this point are still like rushing around, and I think like all the people have been bandaged at this point, but they still require like at least medical attention, especially since their wounds are resistant to magical healing. The old cleric, Brother Gabriel, is napping in a corner now. There's like a huge snot bubble coming out of his nose. And the head priest who previously spoke to Jeremiah would recognize you people. And since Matt isn't here, I'm just going to say he addresses the group. His name is Brother Jufreya. And he looks over and says, I guess you are all the party of this gentleman here whose name I didn't catch previously. He made a very generous donation to us since we were having trouble dealing with the sudden influx of patients at this place that is not a hospital. Is there something I can help you all with?
So I basically come straight out. I was like, yeah, we want to speak to like the head person of this place.
That would
you?
be me, yes. Hello.
That's you. Good. We need to try and contact the goddess.
Great. Well, there's an altar over there if you'd like to.
No.
pray and-
I think you don't understand. We need to contact the goddess.
Literally contact her.
As in literally talk to her. Is
Yeah.
there any way... Have you got like a secret like space thing for her?
Yeah, let me just open up the secret god bunker where she hangs at. No, I'm gonna need some more details. Like, people don't just walk in and talk to gods. That's kind of not how temples work. They come here
What's
to.
the point of them?
Apparently, we're fucking hospitals. I didn't know that.
Well, Okay, so
I like how
we-
progressively everyone in this campaign is sassy as well.
Hey, the sass is just normal at this point. So I basically just go, all right, okay. So basically,
Oh,
he's nodded.
basically, the the goddess of fate, yeah,
He's from Yorkshire.
that imp fucker from Yorkshire. The imp fucker god, S.
That's not a
Istus.
thing.
Istus. I know.
Okay.
Just to be wary that she's imp fucker to me, and I don't know about the rest of them, but I think that's
You're not exactly making a good case to speak to the goddess.
I was gonna say.
this is shush. I'm calling
I'm
the other goddess by her
You're gonna get
actual
sanctioned
name.
if you carry on.
I'm calling the other goddess by her actual name, so therefore it should be fine.
It should be fine.
Should be fine. So we are called what she calls anyway, fate touched. Whatever that means to other people.
I mean, I've
Fate
heard
touched.
of fate touched before. So I know what that means, but
Oh, okay, yeah, so that's us.
okay.
I don't know how we can prove it to you. That's
I
us.
can stand on my head.
Yeah, what just stand on the head?
I can. I can.
don't think I
summon a
want-
horse with- I can summon a horse with boobs. Will that prove anything?
I'm begging you not to.
I mean, if you'd looked outside early, you might have seen it.
I
Oh,
heard
no.
a commotion
It just
this
clip
morning.
clops
but-
past the window.
Oh yeah, we never said it had gone.
Jeremiah's like, I could also summon a horse, but it wouldn't have boobs.
So thank you for actually posting it on Twitter. It was great. It was so
Yes.
Oh,
insane
Jesus
how
Christ, you
yes.
did.
Oh, really? Oh, wicked.
Yeah, on the Twitter. So it's like, yeah. So with Fate Touch, that is something I can't really prove, but it's true. And when we were on, or whatever city was it that we were on one to Figgy? Was it Duskwatch?
Duskwatch was where you were previously, yeah.
Yeah, so when we were on Duskwatch before we came here,
Yes.
we to speak to Estes, the goddess of fate, in some kind of weird ritual where we kind of just spoke to her person to person before, and we're hoping to do the same with Mithras.
Okay. I mean, such rituals are possible, but it's not like we can force a connection. The power actually, I mean, as clerics, full stop, our power comes from our gods. But I can call her, but it's up to her whether or not she answers the phone, so to speak. I don't know what a phone is.
You guys have fun.
I mean, it's
I
worth
just said a
shot.
word that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm like, well, it's worth a shot. Let us try.
You speak to her on your phone.
Cell phone.
Conversation device.
And you have no way of proving to me that you are fate touched.
I mean, how can we prove it, really, Logan?
Just do a trick, like pull the
mean-
flowers out of your
Okay.
sleeve or something.
I'll throw you a bone here and say you can make an intelligence check.
Make a what?
Oh
check?
what?
Intelligence.
Should we all do that?
Sure. You
Does
were
that
aware.
number her with our intelligence?
Risu
I
will have
definitely don't
advantage.
roll well.
Yeah.
I smart boy. I mean, girl. I smart girl.
Two. Imp fucker.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll make a check on.
6.
Wow. How did the really smart person not
Wait, how do you roll a dice without it being a save from that?
go to skills?
So
and
go
it's
to
at the
You have to go
skills.
into the second tab
Yeah.
and then go down to the bottom.
And you see unskilled something check, and you just roll.
Oh my God, we're all
got a
dumb.
three as well.
Why are we all? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Sarah,
I mean,
you have
it's-
advantage, but
It's been a long day, so we're kind of tired.
Okay. Sarah, roll it.
So I get,
Did you get
yeah, roll again.
Roll again.
Yeah.
Yay!
Finally.
That's a bit better.
okay.
Alright, I have to rethink.
You have to try and convince her that we're all fake touch now because we've got the chance.
Here's the thing: when you guys were initially found by the Temple of Estus, the reason they recognized you was because of Risu's magic bow, which is a divine artifact belonging to Istus.
Oh yeah. Completely.
Oh,
I
yeah,
completely
makes sense.
Forgot about that.
There we
So
go.
I can show off my blingy bow. And
Yeah. So you go. Oh wait a minute, and pull out your bow. And say, this is an artifice that we was given to for.
Yep.
That's so
I have
cool.
this
Cool, really,
bow.
it's great that you rolled that 20.
'Cause you
I
said
guess
that.
I'll just fucking ring up Mithras.
What do you mean ring up?
What's ringing?
What does ring?
Commune. Sorry.
Commune
Thank-
up.
Allow
Thank,
me
thank
to,
you for bringing me back into the.
Yeah, sorry, bringing you back into the RP. I need to consult a goddamn spell list now. A second. Check filters. To see actually what the details of this spell are. Immune, here we go. Contact your dead. Okay, so she says, "I'm not entirely sure what the ritual was that they cast to get you in contact with Istus, and to be honest, it might not be possible with Mithras. The thing is, being fate touched, you have a special connection to Istus. That's what being fate touched is. You don't have the same thing with Mithras, so it might not be possible. What I can do is I have a spell called Commune, which I'm able to cast. It allows me to ask 3 questions, but I can't promise what the answers will be. So if you guys wanted to come up with 3 questions, I can ask them on your behalf.
Okay.
So the exact text of the spell is: you contact your deity or divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with yes or no. You must ask your questions. No.
No,
That's
no
the one
questions about imps.
Okay.
Okay, you must
rules.
ask your questions before the spell ends. You receive a correct answer for each question. Divine beings aren't necessarily omniscient, so you might receive unclear as an answer if a question pertains to information that lies beyond the deity's knowledge. In a
Okay.
case where a one-word answer be misleading or contrary, the DM might offer a short phrase as an answer instead.
Okay.
So one of the things should be before we start our character, we should probably ask her, was she killed by the demigod things, or is that? Or
Wait,
did, 'cause
Will she
obviously-
remember or not?
Well, you should fucking hope so. She's a god.
But wasn't she reincarnated?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
but-
would.
But does she remember her past life or not?
Good point. But I mean,
I
She
mean,
would
do we know
answer-
that about gods?
uh,
Because it might be a wasted question otherwise.
well, what would you think then?
I don't know. I mean, it's a good question.
It is. That's what I mean. It's like, I think one of the questions should be, we should definitely be questioning about like the calamity, I believe, but we need to
Yeah.
talk about like certain questions that we would get an answer from. Because if it's yes and no answers, which is no good, if we're trying to ask her about stuff to do with,
I mean, I could answer in a short phrase instead. I'm going to scrap the yes and no. It seems a little limiting here. But it's not, I can't give you like a whole spiel. I can answer you in like a short sentence.
we could try and so what we know of the calamity so far is beings from the other side broke through to as far as what Virtue believes is to regain their magic from these what were they, demi giants or whatever? What were they called again?
Colossi,
The
they were
Colossi,
called.
who were using their magic.
Yeah.
Now they managed to get their magic back, apparently, from what we can think. it was at the expense of Mithras, who died during the calamity, which also it coincided with the entire annihilation of a powerful godlike race of at the same time, which is a bit weird, to be perfectly honest.
It's almost like you don't know the whole story yet.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, yes, of course it does. So we got to be like thinking in regards to getting extra pieces, hopefully from Mithras about what happened. So we need to find out how did the Colossi die. Firstly, were they killed by these other beings, or did they do like a mass suicide to prevent themselves from coming through, or did to do that, or were they just 100% wiped out by these beings when they came through? Why did Mithras obviously died to prevent them from taking over from the side, causing massive things. Was that because of the Colossi, or was that her own doing to prevent that from happening? And I'm trying to think what else to ask. Trying to think what else. Oh, I can't think of something else on it, but there's more. I'm gonna try and work out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't think of anything else. Those two things out. How did it end up being this way? Other than Mithras died and caused massive amounts of magical instability for 100 years before she reincarnated. So I think that we should be like looking to get answers in that regards.
Okay, so you've got 3 questions. I'm going to need some at least close to exact wording here. What is it you're asking?
I think if we look with the Colossi first, in terms of.
Sorry, you cut out there, Alex.
I'm just trying to think of a way to. Okay, we could answer. We could try and get an answer to Virtue's theory about the Colossi taking magic from Mithras to prevent the other beings from coming through and taking their magic. So we can ask a question in that regard. Does anyone else? Because that might answer the question of how Mithras died. Because obviously her equate to her losing her power as an immortal and then thus dying.
So you are asking what? How
did the Colossi
Nifra died? Or?
Did the Colossi after losing their original powers then drain Mithras of her own powers to prevent their destruction?
Okay.
Does anyone else agree with that? I want, before we use that as a
Yeah,
question, does
that
anyone
makes
else
sense.
think that's a good question?
Yeah.
So did the Colossi steal Mithras?
Yes. That then answers something for Virtue.
Okay, that's question 1.
Okay.
I suppose like we can ask these in sequence. So you guys are sort of be taken to back room, like higher up in the chapel, where this spell is cast. It's not a ritual. Oh, it is a ritual. So it takes 10 minutes. Brother, fuck, I already forgot his name. Brother Jufria to say, Father Jufria, sorry, to cast it, and he uses incense and a vial of holy water materials for this ritual casting. But you sort of see at some point his eyes up into the back of his head, and he states in this voice, which sounds like a chorus of his own voices says, "State your questions." And when you ask your first question, did the Colossi steal Mithras' power? The answer is no.
Oh, so they didn't take. Okay, so they didn't
Okay.
use her powers.
They did not steal Mithras' power.
Oh.
I wonder if they traded it.
I just presume from that they didn't have anything to do with her powers.
Could you not ask what happened to her powers? Or... Oh no, it's a yes or no. Sorry.
Well, I can
Well,
answer in a
no-
short phrase as well. But for that, I feel like that was just a no.
Okay. So they didn't steal her powers to try and do anything to losing their own.
And as well, it's kind of weird because you're not directly talking to Mithras, but you are still able to sense a little bit of intention. It's kind of a hostile no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
As if she's saying like, no, that wouldn't.
Like, as in she's upset by
Like,
us.
no, and I don't want to talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
doesn't like us digging. Yeah.
Yeah, but we better think of these other questions.
Yeah.
A bit defense.
She is getting a bit defensive there.
She was a bit.
Oh, I feel like saying, "Bitch, I will slap you."
Good
Do
luck.
it. Do it.
Anyone else think of anything? Because I'm thinking more to do with if we look at. Then did she?
I mean, we could maybe ask her something about these creatures that came from the other world, and if she knows way of fighting them off or stopping them from coming through again.
Could maybe that might be a good one, and then we could ask her maybe like an idea of where we could move to next to help restore the order balance or like discover more. She might not answer that one though. But yeah, we could try that one you just said, Nick.
Okay.
Okay. What are you asking exactly then?
I don't know. How would you word that to get the best answer?
So does she know? Can she help it?
I mean, do we want to know how to stop them coming through, or know, like, what their weaknesses are, or what we can do to send them back if they do come through again, without sacrificing a goddess and sending the world into chaos again? I don't know if there would be an answer to that though, because that didn't happen last time, did it?
No, but problem is I know she's hostile.
Yeah.
We know she's hostile towards us, so she might be a bit cynical and just give us a yes answer, but not actually help us in any way. So it's like, yeah, there is, and then that's it, and then we're like, oh.
It wasn't so much like she particularly dislikes you. It was more a case of that particular question was one that she didn't want to give a detailed answer to. Like, she didn't want to talk anymore about that particular topic.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
Which is strange. So I think then she actually gave her powers to them, like she aided in them for some reason, which is a bit weird, but whatever. So okay, we could say how can we stop the entities from breaking a rift through into this world?
Yeah.
One she can give us an answer to.
Yeah,
will
she
she be
can't
able
really
to
say
give us,
yes or
like,
no to that.
Yeah, will she be able to even give us like even a short answer for
give
that?
a
'Cause it's probably going to be quite complicated, surely.
Or ask her if there's somewhere we can go to find out the answer instead of her actually giving it to us.
Yeah, that might help. Then we do that.
Yeah.
Is this like wishing for more wishes?
No.
Well, it's pointing us in the right direction. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Is your question going to be something? Where could we go to find out how to stop this?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's your final answer.
Final answer.
Okay.
Well, that's our second question.
Second,
That is your
second to final answer.
Okay. In that case, she will say to you, your enemy gathers at Nexus.
Okay.
Okay.
So we know that's probably the final destination. Oh man, I'm trying to think of a final question now. We need to think of a way that can stop Calamity. So she's just told us where to go to like stop it.
Yeah.
But
I
we
mean,
don't know-
if the reason it happened for the first time is giants were using their magic, but if they're not using that anymore, then what's the reason for them wanting to come through again? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There's obviously a reason they
Like-
want to.
Would she know the reason why it might start up again? Maybe that's something we could find out to try and stop whoever's causing the thing that wants them to come back.
So maybe we could ask like why are they reattempting to enter this world?
Yeah.
Sounds
I don't know, that's my idea. I don't know what you guys think, but that might help.
Rob and Sarah, you guys have been silent.
They sounded like smart questions.
You've got nothing else to add.
Ah,
Rob, anything from you?
I really
No,
don't
we
have
said
much to add.
smart questions.
Yeah.
No.
How do you make cheese?
I got to put my thinking cap on then, didn't I?
Okay.
So
So-
so yeah, if we say like why are they reattempting? That could be that probably be the final question. Why are they
Yeah.
trying again?
Okay. So your question is, why are they attempting to invade again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this time the answer is a little bit unclear, but you would get something to the words of the intentions of these new invaders are hidden from us.
Helpful.
Say that again. The intentions are hidden from it.
The
Are hidden from us,
intentions
yeah.
of these new invaders.
So she doesn't know them basically.
Damn it, so we wasted a question.
it's okay. We know where to go now.
We know where to
Yeah,
go,
we-
yeah.
So is that all three questions? Did we only have
That
three
was all.
questions? Right.
That
Yeah, we
was
only
your
have
three
one
questions.
Yeah, we used them up now.
So we used the first one to try and work out how the why did she die, and because the Colossi didn't steal the magic, she must have either used the magic and it caused her to die, or there was
Yeah.
something else that happened that caused it. So we know
But she
that-
wouldn't really tell us.
No, she was a bit. She was a bit upset by that question.
As well, it seems like with each answer, she's sort of given away more than she just her words. Like even when she just said no, you were still able to infer.
Yeah.
So then, with that, we know where we need to end up, but is that really the right place to go at this point?
I mean, our other option is to go to the city below here, isn't it?
We can try and work more information.
Nexus
out.
is a ways away.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just snap your fingers and fast travel there anyway.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean that it's one of them. There is like, is that even? Would it even be smart to go there now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as in, right, we know where we need to go to fight to face. Would that be smart to do that now? And I think not. I don't think we would be prepared for such an encounter at this
Fair.
point. So I would believe that we need to work out more information to do with the calamity. Work out what stopped them originally.
Yeah.
How we can, because obviously we weren't able to infer that. All we know is that obviously the Colossi all perished during it, alongside Mithras, but it prevented the invaders from getting through.
Okay, well, I mean, from your discussion earlier with Virtue, in terms of that, what you know is the Dragons of Dragonrest might know something, but they are very hostile.
Yeah,
The giants of the eastern side of the continent might know something, but they're very far away. There may be more information on the surface because most of the Colossi previously lived on the surface. So and because it's such a hostile area, there's a lot of regions there where you may be able to learn more.
yeah. So I think realistically we start with the actual floor of the surface of the world.
Okay.
And so we go down to a dwarven city, try and learn as much as we can in there, and see and get pointed in the directions of maybe old ruins, and try and work out some old information, and then work out if we can find anything that can help us build towards that. And then if we can't, then we're gonna have to try and speak to the dragons, and that's gonna be the question. Or even the bloody giants on the other side, on the other continent, on the other half of the world.
At the minute,
a smart
that's
way.
the information that you know. Those are the options available to you.
I agree with that. I think go down to the surface first of all and see if we can find any information there.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
the dwarfs know something more that we don't, or like anyone on the
Yeah,
on the
or
zoo.
they've probably at least got like legends that have been passed down because like they live down there, don't they? So they would have
Yeah,
different
got-
stories and things that we might be able to pick
yeah, even though we
information
know,
out.
even though that people do travel back and forth from there, I think them living on there,
Yeah.
they have more information. They would be able to gather the information easier, in a
Yeah.
sense, and I might have more. Do you think there's anywhere here on the city right now where we can try and gather more information?
I mean, if you ask Virtue this, he'd say, well, I mean, the University of the Prismatic Shard, I was kind of the only person currently researching it. There are possibly old tomes, but I kind of pored over most of those in order to build my own theories. The elves have, their own legends, and they've lived a very long time, but kind of what you've been given is essentially a compilation of what I uncovered from studying everything I could hear in the Citadel, the Moon.
Right.
So basically, no, then, because he's already got all the information together that he's managed
It
to
was
get
kind
hold
of like his whole thing was he was a scholar studying specifically this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
And
think
you're welcome to do your own investigating, but that's what
I was going to say, I trust what Virtue's got, to be honest.
I feel like if he's devoted his life to, probably managed to find everything that we could.
Yeah.
And more.
I mean, you guys are fate touched. You're special. You're the chosen one.
I think as a next action, we were also asked to meet. Who was it that wanted to meet us? The person who
Arturo Duskwatch has a mansion here, and
oh, that was it. Yeah, we should probably go and say hello to him, save the city. And that was kind of one of the things they wanted us to do.
Oh yeah, we kind of ignored him, didn't we?
Yeah, there was a spoiler, and we're like,
Yeah, okay, let's go and pay him a visit before head down onto the surface.
And
Do you think that guy with the sign still waiting at the docks?
I think he ran off when he saw the horse.
I think he would as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is that horse still out there?
No,
it is. Yeah. It is.
It's gone. That spell only lasts
Oh,
so
is it?
long.
I'll summon another one then.
I'm begging you not to.
This one's a really burly man,
Okay.
muscly horse.
Still a horse.
Still a horse, yeah.
Okay.
He's come to look for the other one. Obviously, it's gone.
One of the clerics immediately casts Dispel Magic.
I
Damn
don't
it.
It's
blame
like,
him.
no!
Ruined my fun.
Also because I do not want to see Sarah's drawings of
I
any
want
more
way more.
naked horse people.
You know you do.
I really...
Sarah, how much for you to do another one but in a burly bloke? As a burly bloke?
Please do not commission
Please do this.
I
Yeah,
think
put
she's
your
already
PayPal details
You know
on.
what? You know what? I think she's already doing it. That's why she's quiet.
I hate all of you. Okay, it's sort of 9 o'clock now and we're a man down, so we could continue the session, but I feel like this is possibly a good to stop anyway.
Yeah,
You guys have your short term of you were going to head to... Well, in fact, no, I think we'll continue a little bit longer because it's getting towards late at night now, especially after this ritual. So you guys need to find a place to stay the night. And then once we've resolved that, we can start the next session in the morning.
Oh, should we go back and find that person that I was talking to at the docks? That said they'd give us something.
What?
She went off to one. Was it?
Captain Elenara.
Tell me right at this. She said to come and find her, and she'd give us some sort of reward.
Sounds shady.
I have no idea what you're on about, Ryan.
Okay, out of character, that was the captain
Do you remember what you?
of the ship that you defended from Wyverns. She kind of
That's
owes
right.
you a favour.
She went off to somewhere, and she said to come and find her.
Oh,
She
yeah.
really likes
She gave me directions to, but I can't remember
Gave
what
you
it said.
directions to the pick and shovel
Oh,
and
that
said
was
that
it.
if you need anything, that's an inn. You could stay the night
That's
there
it.
as well,
Could she give us a free room for something?
possibly.
We helped to fight off the monsters on the ship for.
I'll only
Yeah,
do
we
if
can
it's
do that.
free.
We can do that.
That's what I'm thinking. We'll get a free.
I'll only call in a favour if it doesn't cost me anything to call in a favour.
Exactly.
Of course.
Of course.
So yeah, so it's like if we do that, we go there, and then the next morning we head to
Okay.
whatever his name is, the place again.
Yeah. So, if that's the favour that you're going to call, then yeah, Captain Ellen to get your rooms, and the inn is like, it's packed, but it's not packed with people who are like staying the night. It's just like soldiers who've finished their shifts and you know, just having a beer after work. So she's sort of merrily drinking with them and notices you and calls you over. And when you explain your situation, you need a place. Great. I mean, like, I kind of owe you guys big there for possibly saving my life and saving the lives of many of my customers whose relatives would have sued me into oblivion. So yeah, as long as you are, I can, you know, fund rooms for you here. Just don't stay here for like a tremendously long time, please.
I tell her this isn't the end. We'll be back for more.
You've looked into our plans there.
Don't like live
Read our
here for the
minds.
rest of your lives or anything. For a week. How does that sound?
It'll
Sounds
do
good.
for now.
So she purchases 3 rooms, so you have to like double up
I want a king size bed.
to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to kick whoever else is.
Yeah, even if there's no free rooms, I'll take one of the rooms
I
that already
mean-
has someone in.
Virtue gets to sleep in the dean's room now, so he's fine.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah. He's like, I just look at him when he goes, "Okay, I'm going back to my."
I guess I'll meet you guys here in the morning.
I look at him and say, "Do you want to be walked back?" Make
Nope,
sure
I'm great, thanks. Bye. Nope, you're not allowed to see my house anymore.
I can't wait for him to be like, yeah, the dean bullied me in the morning. It's
Oh,
like,
damn it, it's super my intention.
I already knew what was coming. So yeah.
Okay. I think that's as good a place as any to end the session. So, immediate plans are to go out and meet Arturo Duskwatch, and then after that, potentially head down to the fortress of Bulwark.
Yes.
Yep, sounds
like a
good.
good
Just find a way of getting down there. Great.
Hold on to that elevator for dear life.
Yeah. Just this rickety, creaky, blowing in the wind.
Rickety cricket.
It's not that bad. You'll see.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess we can end the
Sick.
session here then. Good game, everyone.
Sick.
My highlight
Um,
of this session is getting Virtue that room with the dean.
Yeah.
That's the highlight.
Oh mate, it was just so funny. I was just like, I can't believe it. It's just like roll. It's like roll intimidation. Okay, not 20. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that
Can't
was.
lose. Can't
You were
lose
this close to getting a score premise.
Oh man, it would have been funny. But no, instead I got Virtue one of the best rooms in the place.
So I'm just staring into these fruitful pictures.
Yeah, like who's bunking with who? Who has to share with what?
Excuse me, has to share? No, I'm fully taking over this king size bed for myself.
Well, there's 2 other rooms for you to go 2 and 2 here.
We'll have to pull straws or something.
Okay.
Like, you're welcome to sleep on the floor, but this bed's for me.
It's like if you can't bunk with me, it would be good luck with that boy. Good luck with keeping me out of this bed.
The cat pushes people out of bed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we can. Yes, Reese is trying to get a room for herself.
Yeah.
Technically, she's 2 if she's got Taito with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
We might have to go back downstairs.
Taito as a bed.
We might have to go back downstairs and ask that lady to give us.
Just sleep on Taito as a pillow.
That is one big pillow.
Wow, you guys suck at this.
What did you try?
Wait, what are we rolling for?
Intimidation.
I don't know. I just rolled.
Okay. I think we'll call the session here anyway. Good game, everyone.
Oh my God.
Does the session end with us just standing in the corridor, not knowing what room to...
Debating which room to stay in. Then we'll just time skip to the morning. You guys are still stood outside debating which room to stay in.
No.
Artemirge is looking well rested, and everyone else is like bags under their eyes.
When we play next, it's literally 2 hours of in-game, 2 weeks of in-game time, and we've still not figured out where to sleep.
Jesus Christ, guys. It's not supposed to be
2 weeks later.
We've all passed out several times, standing up.
Just sleeping in the corridors. Meanwhile, Ott's living like a king on room service.
Just ordering in chicken wings and unicorn tears. And...
No, obviously, it's just potato over and over again.
Yeah, it's just that's the only
spaghetti
food
ravioli
in the world, guys.
Yeah, potato ravioli.
It's potatoes.
Spaghetti ravioli.
Always potatoes.
Potato.
There's nothing but carbs in this world.
Wicked.
So sorry, this session was a little bit exposition. There was kind of some important stuff that.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was interesting.
Yes.
Bit of backstory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guess Matt's going to have to just catch up.
Yeah.
And he'll have to tell us the password that we've already forgotten.
Oh, yeah,
I know
something
exactly what it is.
1 hour and something.
You can't go giving away the password now.
It was.
Yeah, exactly. I think I might just
You can't
change the
skip to
password.
end.
Yeah, you can't skip to the end because that's where he learns the password. No.
All right, everyone. I'm going to go offline because I need a drink because my throat is really dry.
And me. All right. See you.
Oh, God damn it! I just opened up Discord and bone titties.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Oh,
It
kill
really
me.
is amazing.
New wallpaper.
All right. See you all later.
See ya.
Bye.
Guys.